Hello, traders. The market is open and we're finally able to take a trade over here on this top step. For some reason, it's not letting us enter right away. I tried to enter my first trade up here around the mid 60 level because I felt like this was a let's go fill this in-wog situation. Could be wrong. But I'm short too. Let's see what happens. That's our new week opening gap. I would expect it to dance between a few quadrants here. Of course, we filled the rest of this gap. We could offer higher and I could get smoked here. Or we could come back down and fill this void. Either one is a possibility. It's a 95-point gap. If we fill that, that'll be sweet. This is the Asia pre-market. It would be a lot more likely that it fills it during the Texas time. It would be 6 o'clock. New York time. Asia opens at 7 o'clock New York time. So this is the Asia pre-market we're dealing with right now because of the time change. I don't like the fact that it's not pushing down a little quicker than this. We moved down to almost a round number. And then we stopped. We took that, we worked into this gap. Why aren't we pushing down? I got a crappy fill. This should continue to push. There we go. See how it reacts to the 97 level. That's 25% of that gap up. If it pushes on through it, that'll be good. But if it wants to halt here and consolidate here, I might take it off and try to get back in at the top level. If you haven't gotten your beer or drink of choice yet, I would suggest you go do that, because this may be a long session. If that's going to be the high of the day, I'll hold this thing all the way down to one of these levels I picked out over the weekend. I like that one. And I like that one. I've always wanted to do that. Just put on a position. My hypo is that we're going to continue to push down all the way through Thanksgiving, maybe even into that last week of Thanksgiving, and then rally back up in December for the Santa Claus rally. This would fit my hypo really well. I don't have a whole lot of risk on the trade. I wonder what those 2 micros would pay me if we made it down to one of these levels I have marked. Like this one right here was the one we left on Friday. It's relative equal lows on the 4-hour regular trading hour chart. That's at 652. Let's just see out of curiosity. 24,652. Why do I have a white line there? On these 2 micros, that would pay me $2,600 with a $50, $80 risk, I guess. Might be worth it. So we did bounce off of the 25% quadrant perfectly. So chances are we're going to go back up to the top. And then we'll offer down to here. So it's already back to where I'm in the hole again. I should have killed it there. I wasn't even paying attention. I could have booked that. Got back in at 20. So we could push higher from here. I'm gonna add one more. I shouldn't, because we may take my stop on this, but I don't think we're going to go much higher than that wick if we take it at all. a breaker perspective, we've just closed above this breaker. A fair value gap is forming. From here, if we view, I really don't even know where we could begin to start on that. Maybe that volume imbalance being the breaker to the downside. Yeah, we should reject here if we're going to. Yeah, that looks like a breaker attempting to validate. Should probably kill this until I get more confirmation to downside. I'm taking it off. Things I see that we could trade into, definitely this volume imbalance, that volume imbalance. If this one will provide a barrier to the downside, then perhaps I'll get back in for more downside. This is an interesting feature right here, because we have a gap, a regular trading hour gap here that has not been filled, and then we've gapped up above it. So this area right here has not been traded at all in regular trading hours over the last few days, or at least Friday and today. So I think that's our draw in the short term. We opened above the 4-hour regular trading hour high, so a reversal pattern here is definitely something you'd want to keep an eye on. But we also have this one relatively close. So trading up into there. So right now, in order to get another down move, I want to see this breaker invalidate. I mean, it hasn't really validated with a fair value gap, but I want to see candle bodies closing below it after taking out that volume imbalance. And this is still just the pre-market of Asia, so anything could happen. It's just developing its range right now. We had candle bodies close above the halfway point of this one when you include the volume imbalance. That's pretty close right there. Oh man, always Always love it when my first trade of the night's a loss. Well, looks like my sisters are on watching. I'm going to risk it to biscuit. I'll put it right there at that halfway point, 26. Just one. Just one. If I can get filled. 26 quarter. 26 quarter. 26 even. It's just not leaving town. Now I'm going to go center of that wick, 23 quarter. I feel like if it was wanting to go up, it would have left town. I'll do 23 even. It's 1 micro. It's not going to, 1 point isn't going to make that much of a difference. 1 tick. Like 10 cents. All right, there we go. Now it can go to the moon. So I am not risking 200. I need to change that. I am going to risk $50 only. Theorizing that I'm not going to be wrong every time. And I can lose $50 a couple of times, and it's not going to blow up by count. And then when I hit, I'll make good money. But I still need a good trade setup. So to me, even though there's not a breaker here, this was a shift in market structure. We worked down into here. We put up a fair value gap here. It is respected so far. The one to the upside is not leaving town, indicating more downside. We also have NWOG center, all of this opening gap we could possibly push through, and that's why I'm liking the short here. Plus it fits my hypo for the month and the trend for last week. Worth a shot. Kathy, I'm not wanting it to go to the moon. I'm wanting it to go down. The red means I'm sold short. The top of that box is my line in the sand for more upside. It's at 34. There's also one right here, 39. If we get over 39, I'm killing it. I'll be stopped out most likely. I need it to go to the opposite of the moon, whatever that is. The Marianas Trench. the deepest hole in the ocean. Pop a top again. Looks like range play is what we're in for. Yep, this is the typical Asia lull you to sleep. I'm not sure why that's there. I don't think that's settlement. It was a little too far down for settlement. Maybe. Let's do RTH here. Yeah, settlement's here. go. I think I have it marked on the big contract already. I do. Nope, that's in log. There's settlement. 25.2, and this one settled at 25.2. Looks like we're pushing higher. Took out the top of the range. There's the bottom. Come to get me. We haven't even filled in that volume imbalance yet. We could offer higher. Most definitely. So Asia has a range just like any other market when it opens. This is the pre-market high for Asia. Okay, and I'll just make a copy of that and we'll put it down low. I mean, we can use the 25% mark because that's where we went. That's the pre-market low for Asia. And you can use these as important levels. Sometimes they're every bit as important as a 4-hour high or regular trading hour high. This is definitely looking like it wants to offer higher, probably all the way to 50. This fair value gap is getting traded through, so our next one that it would have to eclipse is this one. Here, which was respected on the way down. I'll get rid of this guy. We also have that volume imbalance right there that's included in this one, and it's got what we're kind of working into right now. This wick says we prefer higher, and that volume imbalance does too. Lots of volume imbalances here. We worked into them, left one there. If that is one, I need to include it. Yeah, it is. There we go. It's mostly included. We are in the macro just before the open for Asia. Top of the hour. It's 5:53 in Texas. Asia market proper will open at 6 o'clock Texas time. 7 o'clock New York. And I do believe that is 9 a.m. in Tokyo. Let me check my world clock. Yeah, it's 8:54 right now in Tokyo. So that one filled the volume imbalance, but so far has respected the fair value gap. I like this red wick here. Doesn't mean we're going to respect it. We almost got stopped on that. 42, we're at 48. I said if we got over 39, I was going to kill it. going to be true to my word. And I'm going to take it off. So this one has been traded through, no longer valid. I believe this volume imbalance here, maybe that volume imbalance there. I would say we're 100% going at least to 50 here, and we may go all the way to pre-market high. I would be considering a long here if it wasn't just a couple minutes before the open, because here is a fair value gap to the upside and it was respected. You include the volume imbalances, it was respected, and away we went. This one would have filled us, and there we went, but I was in a short, so remember on Friday we finished the day strong. We went all the way down here and we took out a weekly level, a weekly low at 804, and then we went straight up, well, almost straight up the rest of the day, the rest of the afternoon, and then we opened higher, tried to dip lower, and now we're going higher still. This may be a target. We already got into this one. We already covered it up. So right now we cannot take another short until we see evidence that the market is unwilling to go higher. Right now, long would be good. If we could enter a long somewhere around here, if it comes down back down to here and then rejects up again with a fair value gap, that might be a position to take a long. I know getting locked into a mindset that you know where the market's going, like down, will cost you a lot of money. It's cost me a lot of money. Remember, Friday's signal would be similar to this, except we left the liquidity up above. So it would need to leave some of these, come back down, touch somewhere in this box, and then show a willingness to go higher. We can look at Friday's signal and I'll show you how the similarities would be. So here, came down, we put up a fair value gap here. The breaker is there, we're above it. Right there is the breaker. And we went up, we left some liquidity, like this guy here. These were the draw in my opinion. And then we came back down, we touched it, and then went on up. Took that liquidity, ended up taking the high of the day. But that would be a similar pattern that I would be looking for here. If this was that's as far down as we want to go, and now we're going to the moon, then I would like to see a similar pattern repeat itself right here. We just took this liquidity, worked into that volume imbalance, but we're leaving this. So if this comes down and touches in this box and shows a willingness to move higher, then that's our guy. It's also a possibility that we leave this liquidity. This is our breaker to the downside, and we already have a fair value gap to the downside, or we're starting one. If it stays open, then this could possibly be a short. I think this close to 7, or 1 minute away, I think we need to let the opening range play out. All right, so we're touching it now. Do we have a willingness to move higher? Kind of looks like a liquidity run. If we're going to try to enter a short, we would need to be entering up here somewhere at 43. Ran that liquidity, smoked that fair value gap. Here's our breaker. Here's the fair value gap afterwards. Let's see how it respects this one. Include the volume imbalance. Get rid of that guy. It's no longer valid. Can we move away with a fair value gap? That's the question. We got 39. Okay, so we got two opposing breakers. Fair value gap respected there. This one has yet to be respected. But that's our guy to the downside. And this is our guy to the upside. It needs to be blue. I like the downside guy. Just got to have an opportunity to get in somewhere. We could take pre-market low and continue up. Left pre-market low. I'm going to try a short right above, one tick below the high of this candle. Wait a minute. We respected that. That candle body pulled all the way back to above the center portion. One tick above, one tick below the high of this candle if pre-market stays before it gets back up here. So that would be at 23.75. 23.75. Okay, pre-market did not stay. So now what do we do? I still like the idea of entering there. What do you want to bet we bounce on this quadrant right here? %. Yeah, I still do like the idea of entering there. So 23.75. Let's get back to RTH or extended over here. And we'll find that same candle. 23.75. Sell, if we get an opportunity to enter there, that's where I want to sell. Not looking too good right now, but things can change. We're in the open. This is inducing a FOMO type of thing. But if this is really our reversal pattern, this is really the breaker, that's the liquidity we wanted, then we should offer back up into this area and give the people with deep pockets an opportunity to enter up here. So don't freak out just because you're missing this move. This is really the breaker. It'll return to it. And it'll show us a willingness to reverse. It could reverse at any of these fair value gaps. I'm trying here, but if it comes all the way to here, I got 25 points. If I get filled here, I might lose this trade. Look where we stopped. Half the NWOG. We might just go up here to 25% of the NWOG and then push back down to 75%. But I'm hoping we can get pretty close to the top of the NWOG and then offer maybe that down to 75%. But we may just stop right here. We do have a fair value gap pushing through that area. You know what? That's the draw right there. I'm going to put it there at 98. I'll just put it at round number. Surely we'll go to round number. And then I'll play the move. If we go up to here, I will get smoked. But we'll play the move from 25 back down to 75. If it goes all the way to 1, I will probably go ahead and add. Like if it gets up into this area, like I'll get 1 here, and if it starts going up into this area, it's going to be pretty close to stopping me out. But I'll put on a little more risk and go ahead and add 1 there, because I think this is telling me that we want to work through this NWOG, this new week opening gap here. If we wanted to go higher, we would have gone higher here on that push, but we ran liquidity instead and offered lower. So I'm going to try to enter 1 at round. If that don't work, if it wants to go up here, I'll enter 1 more. See, where's my stop? It's right at where I would have entered number 2. So I'm going to move it up here above the breaker at 46. That'll be fine. And I'm going to try to get in on 1 more right here, which will be right about, it's actually right there at that candle. I'm just going to put it right at the NWOG. NWOG's at 321. Put it right there. We'll see if that works out. The good thing about trading micros is I'm wrong a lot, and it gives me opportunity to be wrong without blowing up my account. And I know I'm not going to be wrong every single time because I've been doing this long enough to know how to read the price action a little better than the average bear. And micros make money. Bottom line, micros make money, and they don't lose as much money as trading a mini. You will never make as much money on one micro or two micros as you're going to do on a mini, but this is about account preservation, base hits, occasional home runs. And when you get your account built up to 50 grand and you want to trade a mini, you can do it with confidence. These trades the same kind of setups. I've already, in my opinion, taken too many trades this evening. I got it. I do that every time Asia starts. All right, there's our fill. So now we're too short. If it offers all the way up to the breaker, I'll be in trouble. But I think the end wog is our draw, and I think we'll pull back to at least 50, maybe 75% level now. But anybody tells you they know where the market's going, they're wrong. They don't. We can get an idea. I think it's going lower from here, but I don't know that. Be little wrong instead of big wrong. That's what the purpose of the micros is. I'm actually trade copying 3 accounts on this. So my goal is to average $200 a day and eventually get 5 accounts going. I'm also trade copying 1 combine. That's all I have the money for right now. But if I do this right, I will fund the combines. I will slowly build the accounts to where I can get another payout. And I'll never blow up another account again. You can take a whole lot of small losses being wrong. $250. It's a logical level to go after 300. Doesn't mean it's going to go there. But I like my odds. So that put my average entry at 210. 210. That'll be $240 if it gets to 250. I'm already down from my mistakes by $87. I want to make that back plus 200. 75%. Most likely you take profit there, it comes back to 50. If it's going to fill the gap, then it'll come there. So if it comes here and rejects, then I might, or if it comes here and wants to reject, then I might try to kill it and get back in here for a push to here. Right now, my thoughts are, I know I'm right, so I want to add another contract. But if I do add another contract, that's going to put this loss in the $200 range, which I'm not too crazy about. So I'm not going to add. Controlling risk. That's the key to winning in trading, controlling your risk. There's several ways to do it. You can do it with small size. You can do it with a small stop loss. I've tried several different ways. You can do it with only taking one trade a day with a set stop loss. And if you have a good system, you can usually profit over time. Your edge is not a one day, if it didn't work today, then it doesn't work. It's over time you're going to make money trading your edge. And we'd have to go to this XFA to see that. I think it's this one. Nope, not that one. How am I down 130 bucks? Whatever it's going against me. It's this one. So you'd have to see it on this XFA. Over time, I've profited with my edge. Trading small. It took 6 weeks for me to get a payout on it. But over time, there were days where I overtraded. There were days where I over leveraged. But over time, if I stick to this small, don't blow up the account situation, here I got a really nice day without over leveraging. Also here. And ended up getting a payout. But if you over leverage, you can blow up your account in one afternoon. You can blow it up in 15 minutes. So keep that in mind. And it looks like I'm about to get blown up again, but we've got a couple of different PD arrays that we'd have to work through. That's one. Here's another one. And then this one is the breaker, which I am above. So I'm 3 PD arrays away. So I have to be just dead wrong in order for this trade not to work out. And that's quite possible. I'm wrong a lot. But when I'm right, I'm righter. That's not even a word, but I'm going to use it. I'm righter than I am wrong. So this is bouncing off the NWOG and going up. So that's another narrative you could look at. We went to the half point of the NWOG, rejected, and now we're going up. So that means we could go and take out this pre-market high. And I could lose this trade. I'm not convinced enough of that, willing enough to take the trade away. I still think we're going to offer down to that 75% mark. But I think we're giving the guys with deep pockets the opportunity to enter, to sell short to willing buyers at a higher price. And how much higher price do they want to sell them to? Is it all the way up here, or is that as high as they need to go? Original breaker was here. This breaker is right there, just slightly above it. And we did validate it, just barely, with that tiny little volume imbalance and fair value gap right there. So I could lose this trade, most definitely. And then I'll be even further in the hole. Going back to 50, highly likely. Bouncing between 50 and 50, highly likely. Bouncing off the breaker, falling out of bed, also likely. I'm actually going to put that above the high and make it take out the high. I don't think I'm going to have an opportunity. I think it's going to get me before I even get over there. Got to get back to the lead account, make it take the new high of the day in order for me to lose this one. It's only a couple of points more. That's $200 on 2 micros. I don't know if I'll let it go that far. So far, candle bodies are still respecting this fair value gap. I'm encouraged by that. I like the aggressiveness of this move down much more than any of the moves up. The moves up have been kind of stair-step. The moves down have been rapid. So I feel like I'm on the right side of the market. If we fall out of bed here, we're going to fall, and it's going to be quick. Should I give it an opportunity? I mean, this was a nice deep dive. I think I should give it an opportunity to fill the gap. If it rejects at 75, kill it, but give it an opportunity to fill the gap on a hard push to 226. Should I throw caution to the wind and go to settlement? Should I throw caution to the wind and go all the way down to here? I don't think it'll make it there overnight. So am I just trying to make money during Asia, or am I including tomorrow's New York session? Because I think the New York session could possibly get down here tomorrow, or even here. Somebody besides my sisters is in here, but I don't see any names in the chat other than Karen and Kathy. So, who is that? Who else is watching? Put your name in the chat or say hello. It's going, Kathy. Just as sure as I'm sitting here in this chair looking at this computer screen, it's going down here. But we could take out that high and offer higher first, or that low right there. But we're below, we're back in the NWOG, so working these quadrants is our next push, I would imagine. We could just come down to 25 and then push right back up here. But these quadrants will be worked. They will most likely be worked in Asia, in London, in New York. They will be worked. So this fair value gap, if you notice, the candle bodies did get above the halfway point, but they wanted no more. Wicks can do the damage, candle bodies tell the narrative. These candle bodies are saying, that's as high as I want to reach right there. For now. If I'm long, expecting it to go higher, my stop's going to be here or here. If I'm a retail guy, they're right here. And we're about to run them. If we run those stops, that'll actually be a 10-point gain on 2, so that would be 40 bucks right to the base of those stops. I'm going to take off that risk. I'm going to put it right here at the high of those candles. Because if we go higher than those candles, we're toast anyway. That's such a long wicked breaker. We'd have to get a long way down before we pierce the halfway. I think we did once. Asia's first prez is right here, which we wicked into, respected, pushed down violently. I think we're okay on this one. I really do. All I need to see over here is that X button. About to be toast. About to be stopped out. Possibly. That's $104 on 2 micros. That's way too many dollars for 2 micros. No, it's 50 points. It's 25 points each. Respecting INWOG. Respecting fair value gap. Didn't want to make it a round number. It's a loser. I'm taking it off. We're going at least to the breaker. At least to the breaker. No longer valid. We could reject off of that one, but right now, I'm looking for structure in a market that has no structure. We took the pre-market low, rejected off the halfway point, tried to push lower again, couldn't. So we'll be offering higher for a little bit. Maybe. Maybe it goes my way now, which in case, I don't know. I don't know that I would even take another trade right now. It dang sure could have got me back to break even if I would have held it a little longer. These are 25-point swings. If I believe we're going higher, I should buy down here. If I believe we're going lower, I should sell up here. And I believe we're going lower, so I'm going to wait and see if it gets up here and sell it. So that's two that I killed. I think this one would have taken my stop. But that's two that I've killed that would have been at least break even or winners. $89-point run. That would have got below my entry at 10. I don't like it where it is. I'm not going to take a trade here until it goes somewhere else. It's just hanging on that end log in the open. A real yawner. 42 minutes into Asia session, and this is all we've done. all we've managed to do. Impressive. I think these are equal highs, 35.50, 35.75. That one's actually a little lower, so that would be the high of all of this. And technically, the candle bodies did respect it. So it got within a tick of my stop. They did not respect the halfway point. So if it continues to push lower from here, where in the world would I get in? The only reasonable spot would be NWOG. And if it pushes back to the breaker, it's going to stop me out for another $50 loss. As much as I want to be involved in a trade, I can't get involved in a trade. You know, I saw some grasshoppers out in the front yard. I was thinking about pulling the legs off of them, and we could just change this to a video, and we could watch them squirm around on the ground without their legs. What do y'all think of that idea? It would be almost as entertaining. Well, maybe we'll just let them hop. You don't think that would be good, Kathy? I just think the possibility of don't know if watching a grasshopper wriggle around without legs would be a good analogy for this market at price action or not, but it seems similar to me. I don't know why. I've never pulled the legs off of a grasshopper unless I was going to fish with it or something. So I can't really. Maybe there's a better analogy. I was thinking painting a wall, and I could just put the camera on the wall and we could watch the paint dry. That would be about the same kind of excitement that we're seeing here in Asia. This is trash. We've got a breaker that validated to the upside. Kinda. There's really no fair value gaps on the upside. And a breaker that validated to the downside quite violently. It has given us an opportunity to enter in this fair value gap. But if you enter anywhere outside of the fair value gap, it goes right back up another 15 points to the top of it. And if we enter in this one, then we'll probably go to 50. So I think entering around here is our best bet. If we can push back up into this fair value gap right here, that would be our best bet for more downside. I think we could put on a 1 hour candle and it would be right here. Hey, we're to the 650 macro, 750 macro. We ought to see some price movement in the next 20 minutes. That is absolute freaking garbage. So let's talk about macros. That'll give us something to talk about. So there's a 20-minute time block. This is ICT stuff, not mine. I don't fully understand it. But he talks about a 20-minute time block. So this would be the 650 candle to 710. This all New York time. Yeah, 710 candle. Price will move. He calls that a macro, and price will move during that macro. So during this macro, at the top of the hour last, we went and took out these highs, and we came and we took out these lows. So now we've just entered the 750 New York macro. So it would be, I think this is the first candle right here. First candle here. So all the way to 710, we should see some sort of price action that would give us a clue of what the algorithm plans to do. So maybe if we're going to offer back to this breaker and then reject, it would be during this time. Or if we're going to offer to the pre-market high and just continue rocking on up, it would be during this time. So I would say any fair value gap that forms in the next 20-minute time block, maybe we just go ahead and take it. And pretend like we know what we're doing. Is that a fair value gap? No, it hadn't completed yet. Oh, it is. There's one right here. So that would be at 23. Let's do it. Let's pretend like we know what we're doing here. 23. We're going to buy one at 23. I think that 23 is right. The low of this candle is 23.75. So we'll put it at 24. Right there. Because we do have a tiny little fair value gap right here. All right, we got filled. Now can we make it to pre-market high? Or do we just aim for 50? Or with a breaker, perhaps? I think we better stop it at psych level 50 right there. Or maybe we just aim for those highs right there. I think we'll push at least to the breaker. That's 45. If we're going to push at all. So far, all of these candle bodies have stopped at the same point. See if this macro holds any weight. So far, not impressed. But you can't argue the fact that over here, during that 20-minute time block, price moved. So we can only assume during this 20-minute time block, price is also going to move. I think rather than aiming for a new high of the day or pre-market high, I'm going to take it off right there at that breaker at 45. And if it gives us a reversal signal, I should probably take it off there. But I'm more comfortable taking it off there and then aiming lower. But it may continue up. We'll just have to see. I want it to respect this fair value gap and push down because that's my hypo. We just wicked into the halfway point. Going to 50 is really, really likely when we're all the way to 44. But if it's respected and we pull away with another fair value gap, I'm taking it to the downside. To the tick touch of the breaker right there. Will it hold? I'm going to get rid of these because they're obviously not important. A fair value gap to the upside again. If you're long-minded, we enter there. So we do have lots of fruit up top. We have another 4-hour fair value, RTH. And we have a gap there and a gap here. I like the touch. I just need to see a fair value gap here. Possibly invert this one. It'd be really, really nice and algorithmic. Interesting. We thought we were going to get a fair value gap there, and the market said nope. It's a pretty nice little swing. Oh, we wicked into that thing again. Look at that wick. Son of a gun. That's interesting. Did y'all know that about the 20 minutes, 10 minutes at the top, before the top of the hour, and 10 minutes after the top of the hour? It doesn't always work that way, but you can't deny it happened right there. And you can't deny that it's happening right here. We're back to 50. Lower high, perhaps. Lower high with the respect of this fair value gap, and a push down would be real nice, but so far we're not seeing it. So far the only position was that long I was in. I did get $42 back, so hey, I'm not complaining. Probably only 100 in the hole now. Let's see, 126 in the hole. It's making a new high. We're going. We are going. Okay, so this volume imbalance will be a great place to enter. To the upside. We'll try one at that volume imbalance. It's at 51, low end 51, yeah, 51. I think 50 is good. We should fill at 50, right? If we're going to push to pre-market high, it don't look like we're going to get a fill. But we just dipped 20 points. Why can't we dip 20 points again? I'll put it at the upper end of it, 51 quarter. 51.75. There we go. 51.75. Try to get filled there. If not, we just missed it. Hey Jamie, how are you? Thanks for liking my stream. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, do so. This is a fair value gap to the upside as well. I just like this volume imbalance as a revisit spot. And it's also at 50, which is a psych level. How are we doing over here on these wicks? We took that one. Haven't taken that one. Yeah, I like this entry point for a long. It's an inversion of the bearish breaker. It fits. It just works all the way around. Jamie, did you hear what I said about the macro? It's an ICT concept. The last 10 minutes before the top of the hour and the first 10 minutes after the top of the hour. So I have it marked out here. We kind of horsed around and then we got that time frame and we went up and down and we took out the low and then we consolidated for 50 freaking minutes. And then as soon as we hit that 20-minute window here, the top of the hour, this will be 10 minutes after, and then we went on the move again. And that's something he talks about a lot, is he calls them macros. It's a 20-minute window, 10 minutes before the top of the hour and 10 minutes after. So in this case it would be 6:50 or 7:50 New York to 8:10 New York. I think this pre-market high could have possibly fall. Fill me, you dirty rat fink. It doesn't look like it wants to. It looks like this whole 20-minute window fizzled out at the 10-minute window. Looks like I missed another one, folks. I still like that entry for a long if we're going to go long, but we already went through the macro. Maybe it'll just be the catalyst for a push higher. Now we've taken that. Taking a short here would be rather Gambelina, because we haven't taken that high. Jamie, there isn't much excitement on the rewind. I was just talking about the price movement during the macros is usually exaggerated. Stock futures climbed. It says, the headline, on renewed hopes of imminent deal to end the government shutdown. The government shutdown kind of throws a monkey wrench in all the seasonal tendencies of the sell-off during this month and the rally during December. Kind of throws a monkey wrench in all of that. But if they want to use that headline to drive the market up all night, and then we fall out of bed tomorrow, I'm okay with that. I just need to get a fill somewhere around here. If it takes the pre-market high prior to pushing back down to 50, then I'm going to take that order off. If it pushes all the way back down to the breaker, then I'm going to get stopped out. But I think it will respect this one, this breaker's low. If we push down at all. It may not want to come down that low again. But usually the market wants to unseat anybody that got long on this way up before pushing through the final way. But I know if I was involved in it, that's exactly what it would do. It would stop me out at break even and then go on without me. So might as well put your entry where your stop would have been. No interest in offering lower. If it takes this high first, I would consider that a significant level, and looking for a breaker to validate after taking that high is appropriate. But if it fills me first, then I would definitely be interested in a long, because this breaker really wouldn't be significant because we haven't taken the high. And we're already above the halfway point of this wick. This is the time where I would normally go long saying, oh yeah, we're definitely taking 400, just in time to get smacked on a pullback. The old me would have done that. The new me, no, no, we're not doing that. Hey, Jamie, remind me, did you just find the channel or have I met you? Are you from San Angelo? I guess we're going to stay here all the way until 7:50 Texas, 8:50 New York. My entry for the micros is right there. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're watching and I'm glad you're getting a benefit from it, Jamie. This line right here is my entry over here on the micro. I don't know what color to make it. We'll make it pink. If we push down that far, I'll try for pre-market high, possibly even higher. Because I wasn't thinking, if the government ends their shutdown, we may spike up and fill all those gaps above, make a brand new high. Who never know? You never know. Don't ever trust a breaker that hasn't taken a significant level. And for this market, a significant level is here and here. Pre-market low. So that breaker could be trusted. This one can't. This one couldn't. I mean, I guess it could until we got that low. We took that high. It looks like we want to take the pre-market high prior to trading back down. So in that case, I would be looking for a short off of the pre-market high and marking these as potential breakers. would not be interested in a short and a long from there either. Oh, okay, I'm reading the chat here. Yeah, I notice if people like and comment like what you're doing here on the live, it refers my videos to more people, Jamie. So I'm glad you were able to find it that way. I'm trying to read this name here. Dead Enigma, up 1K from 2350. I think there's a possibility it could go back lower after taking pre-market high. But there's also this regular trading hour high here, and we also have these. This is a regular trading hour gap here and here. The seasonal tendency right now is to offer lower, but typically before we offer lower, we will offer higher. And we did take out a significant level last week at 804 was a weekly low. So we could continue to offer higher. We could go take out every single one of them gaps. It's really hard to say. All we can do really is mark out these levels. Pre-market high is definitely a significant level. And from there, we just look for a reversal signal. Don't put a whole lot of thought into, oh, I think it's going up here. Oh, I think it's going down there. Just trust your reversal signal. This is a significant level. Here's our breaker. If we validate it, we go short. If we lose, it's all right. We're not going to bet the farm on it. We're only going to bet a little bit of money. We're only going to bet, I'm going to bet $50. Because if we validate that breaker, the opportunity is all the way down here at the bottom of this end wall. We opened above a 4-hour regular trading hour high already, and we're pushing higher. So we may not stop here. We may continue all the way up here or to the moon. That's narrowly not for me to decide. All I can do is trade my system. And my system is, we took out a significant level, pre-market high is significant. We either validated this breaker or we didn't. If we validate it, we go short. If we don't validate it, we wait until we validate one. Here we took out a pre-market low, filled half the end wall, and we validated a breaker to the upside. Took forever, but we validated it right here. I think, I don't know, is that a fair value gap? Yeah, it's a very small fair value gap here. So we validated it right there. There's a fill. So this long could have paid you all the way to pre-market high. I got in a little bit of it, but not a lot of it. So we've taken the pre-market high, 400, round number. I don't like that the breaker's at 80 because 80 is a bounce point to go back up. But if we push below it, the potential to fill that NWOG is there. This system has criteria. It's a very distinct system. And I don't know if you watched my deal over the weekend, but you know, ICT is who I follow. Those are the concepts I use. Mine may be just slightly different, but there's a set of rules that you follow. And they're very distinct. So we have to take out a significant level. We have to validate a breaker with a fair value gap beneath it, not just on the way to it, but beneath it. And then we enter at a very, very particular level at one tick above or below the candle wick that creates the fair value gap. And that's where you enter. And every time you see that signal, once a significant level has been taken, you take the trade, whether you win or lose. You take the trade and you just leave it on. Since the market opened, I've taken 2 gamble trades and 1 trade that actually worked out. The gamble was we push lower, we fall out of bed. And I took 2 of those and neither one of them worked. So this one, we're looking for a fair value gap beneath this breaker. So we need a long red candle pushing lower. One thing I've done is this is for you. Hello, David. My name is Potter, Donald A. I go by Don with most of my friends. You can call me Don or you can call me Potter, either one. But Dead Enigma, you're up 1K from 23,350. One thing that I started doing when I started having a little bit of success is I upsized and I started trading minis, and I blew up 20 XFAs over the course of about 2 months doing that. I stopped dancing with the one that brought me. Micros is the one that brought me. And so, yes, you can make really good money with them minis. But I still make a lot of mistakes. And there are breakers that fail. This one could go higher. And if I lose $500 on it, I mean, that's getting really close to wiping out my account. If you just started a combine, you got $2,000, so you wiped out 25% of your account on one trade. And Friday we had 4 breakers fail prior to one finally validating, and then we got a 300-point run. So 4 breakers with a $500 risk, you already blew your account before it was time to actually take the trade. You need to take those every time you see them, but you can't waste all your bullets trying to get one. So I would recommend, if you need the biggest size you trade on a $2,000 combine, 4, if you're really accurate with your entries, 4 micros with a $200 stop loss. That's the max you want to use, and that's going to train you. So when you do get funded and you're at day 4 and you just need one more qualifying day, you're not going to blow up your account trying to get it. Consistency is the key. I talked about the possibility of getting 5 of these funded and just making $200 a day in each of them, trade copying. That will produce $20,000 a month. And that's pretty good money. You can live on that money. You can pull out 10 grand at the beginning. And so From there, you can build and you can scale. So this looks like a good opportunity. We're starting to build a reversal pattern. We have fair value gaps to the downside, but the breaker is here, and we have no fair value gaps beneath. So this is not an entry yet, but it's possible. If we push into this little imbalance and then push down even lower, respect the fair value gap, then the possibility of going lower is there. But it's this very clear set of rules. If the chart doesn't say go short, don't go short. If the chart does say go short, you take your trade and you let it play out. No second guessing. I'm only going to be risking maybe $100 on this trade if it validates. I'll do 2 micros, very precise entry. And with a risk like that, if it does invalidate, and I am wrong, if it does end up going higher, I'm not blowing my account. But if it goes the way I expect it to, I might make $700 on this $100 risk. So your reward is much greater than your risk if you do it properly. And I'm not just saying that to pick on you, Enigma. I'm telling you from experience. I've had days where I've made $4,000 in a day, and then the next day lose it all because I'm trying to trade that same type of size. Maybe like what I did today, where I took 2 gamble trades. Oh, I'm already down $1,000. I might as well size up more and try to get it back. It doesn't work. Long term, it doesn't work. And I think any of you that are listening to this, you would say, if you could make $20,000 a month consistently and never blow up another account, would you do it? That's a yes or no question. I want to hear your answer in the chat. Or read it in the chat anyway. We've still yet to validate. All right, so there's a possibility. It's going to be 3 minutes before we know whether or not this validates. So don't get happy. Don't get trigger happy. Well, that fair value gap filled right back in, didn't it? No sense in trying to take a trade right there yet. Sometimes they'll validate, they don't even give you an opportunity to enter. You just never know. This is a pretty good little setup. A possible pretty good setup. Because whenever you see this, what I prefer to see on a reversal pattern is we make a lower high and then validate the breaker. That gives it a whole lot more weight, a whole lot more possibility. Time of day, 7:43. We are approaching the macro. 850 is the macro. Fair value gap to the downside during, like right at this time, would be really nice. So let's look at those macros real quick. This is the first one. Lots of movement. This is the in between. This is the second one. Lots of movement. Kind of consolidating in between. So the third one we can expect lots of movement. Where will we expect it to go? Could go higher, could go lower. We don't know. But usually the movement is going to happen in those in between these two lines. We've got the lower high. We can validate a breaker here. Validate by fair value gap beneath. This is looking really good right here, but this candle just started, and so we could go straight back up, and it doesn't leave that open, just like we just did. Back to round number. Possibly make a new high. Each attempt to push lower failed. Creating liquidity down here. There's stops all along here. Eventually, we will reach a point where we want to reverse. And since I'm a reversal trader, that's the point I'm waiting for. I could try to take a long and try to reach for this, but it may go and take this liquidity first and then go there. You just never know. But once we get here, we got something we can work with. We made a brand new high. This is our breaker as it stands. All right, we're in the macro. The first fair value gap in the macro. Of course, we're getting close to 20. I don't think I'm going to take any trades until we take this level right here. I want to see what happens. But we could possibly pull back to round number. This is an aggressive move up. That's a long way off, but it could go there. It's looking like that's the level it wants right now, just simply because it's slowing down before it pops it. You look at this from a higher time frame perspective. Over here. Need to hide my lines so I can see what's going on. We pushed into half the gap, pretty much gone up ever since. A little bit of consolidation. Up, up, up. Where are you people from on here? Jamie, David, Enigma, where y'all from? Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm from San Angelo, Texas. Land of the free, home of the brave. Sorry to smack in y'all's ear. I had to get a sandwich. I'm going to give this market, it's 8 o'clock. The next 10 minutes to hit that level and reverse. I feel like for a long position, I've already missed it. That price action was definitely leaning more towards long. And this one I only took a small profit off of. And that obviously was the opportunity. Probably should have left it hanging a little longer, but I didn't. We've actually gone up from where I took it off another 100 points. Almost. I took it off at 42. And we made it to, what, 36? 37? So almost 100 points by taking it off there. I was worried about it reversing at the breaker and going on down. And maybe I shouldn't have been worried about that. I guess it's better to err on the side of caution. Maybe. I don't know. I know one thing's for sure, I don't win every time. And I don't make the best decision every time either. But over time, I still manage to squeak a little profit out of the market. This macro isn't doing much at all. Kind of putting up a bear flag, or a bull flag rather. an interesting little turn of events. What do y'all make of that? We tried to take the high and didn't yet. Do we buy this pullback? Breaker's all the way in Timbuktu. I think this is our level. I think we get a reversal when we take that blue. And I think this will be our breaker right here. But no, we'll see. These lines are driving me nuts. Does that mean we gotta wait all the way until 9:50 before we break this high and put up a reversal pattern? I just don't know it. From a 5-minute perspective, we did pull back, took that wick, and here we go. Tarrant County College. Sorry, Jamie, I didn't read the chat till just now. Yeah, I used to live in Fort Worth, Benbrook actually. I lived in Fort Worth and worked in Benbrook. That's both Tarrant County. I don't remember Keene. Should. I traveled all around that area delivering paint for a paint company up there. That was 30 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I know where Cleburne is. Looks like I missed the boat on this one, guys. Oh, I got another one of them I got to get rid of. This one would have been a really nice trade. Getting in at the halfway point of the gap. Going long. I just don't like buying rips to the upside. Gaps to the downside, or a gap up, the lower gap is less likely to fill than the upper gap, because the market is ultimately designed to go up. I guess we are going to have to wait all the way till 9:50 to see if it breaks this blue line. Jiminy. Thank you, Jamie. I think I'm about done myself. I want to see what happens when it takes that blue line, and as soon as it does, if it ever does, and we get a reversal pattern, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'm done for this Asia session. I'll just call that one a loss. This, the reason they call it Asia session is it's Chinese torture. Why won't it go dead even with that one? There it goes. You gotta have one more. You can't have two, you gotta have three. All the way to 9:50. It's gonna make us wait for 30 freaking minutes. I don't know if I'm up for it. And then if it doesn't reverse there, then it's just that's it. I've blown the Asia session. No money to be made. Or maybe it does a pump fake and it looks like it's going to reverse and then doesn't. And then I've lost money again. And then either way, that'll be my last trade of the Asia session. Promising that we might actually do something. Oh my gosh. Doing it again. I don't know, folks. The price action to me says that that's a level we want for sure, but I don't know what we're going to do when we get there. We may continue higher, or it may be that all this liquidity we've generated on the way up here gets taken out once we take that level. We just have to wait and see. We can't guess, even though it sucks having to sit here and watch this garbage. That's trading. Real good trading is boring. It's just the way it is. What in the world? Come on, Asia. Oh, 37. Push up here to about 50. Get us a nice breaker. Validate that sucker. And let's fall out of bed. All the way to the bottom of the end wall rather, then weak opening gap. That's what I want to see. That'll be my pajama trade. I'll probably just set that one and go to bed. Aha! We finally popped it. Before 850. So, we didn't take 50, which is odd. But we have a breaker right here. Can we validate it? Six minutes away from the macro. The macro would be 950. Right there. We get a fair value gap to the downside after this blue line. I'll be very interested in it. New high, new breaker. $50 is right there. It looks like it has no desire to go down whatsoever. If this one finishes red, it'll even be a higher breaker up in the column. Yeah, I like it. It is currently the highest high, but won't be for long. I'm betting that one gets eclipsed when we go to 50. Right now it is a potential breaker. This one's the actual potential breaker because a new high has not been made. Uh-oh, my stream looks to be struggling to connect. Didn't quite eclipse. Get over that thing. There we go. Okay, so now this is our breaker. Let's get to 50 and reject. 50 is right there. Time perfect with the macro if we want to go down. My thing is spinning, so I'm assuming the live stream has been disconnected. Here's our first macro candle. Sure would like to see it poke 50. You get there? The high? 49. Son of a gun. I'm going to move this over one candle so we can see what 50 looks like. Yeah. 49. Still 49. Can't break 50 yet. First candle of the macro. I like these wicks. Poke it and finish red. I like. If we validate here, I'm taking it. But I wish it would have hit 50. It only got to 49. It's got potential. Will it give us an entry? 39 seconds for this candle to finish. And we need 2 more candles after it. So we got a 3-minute wait before we can enter a trade. Waiting that 3 minutes can sometimes save you. All right, now can we stay open? This is a fair value gap here, but it is not beneath the breaker. This one, if it goes no higher, could possibly be a fair value gap, but it looks like it's going to close in. It did. So much potential. Kind of have one little one forming right there, but it's not beneath the breaker. I don't hate this one. Just because it's right at the breaker. If we were to pull back, it might be to that one. But because we didn't take 50 and there's a volume imbalance right there, I would like to see one lower than that. May not give us one here, guys. It may not. We got 14 more minutes in this macro. Lower high. I like that. Let's get an FEG. Potential. Will it stay open? It's tiny, but it's there. The smallest can be the mightiest. Will it stay open? It's actually an orangutan, orange guy. So yeah, it did. And we got a volume imbalance beneath it. Well, the candle's not finished yet. We got 6 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I like it. I'm gonna try to enter right here, a tick below that high. That's it. If I can even get a chance. 35.50. I'm gonna try it. 35.50 over here. 35.50. It's already there. It's at 37. We've already blown past it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Get out of there. I'm not even entering that trash. That is way blew past our fair value gap. That's the second piece of this puzzle. Is it respected by the next candle? And no, it was not. $9.01. Can we finally hit 50? I think we just did it. So 9.01. Blew to 50. Created a new breaker. Oh, goodness gracious. Right there. at 31. That was quite a rip. Immediate rebalance and a validation, perhaps. Holy. Yeah. No reversal there. That's it for me. I'm done. I'm not going to take a long right now. I mean, I should, but I missed it. If I was going to get in on it, I should have got in on pre-market low. I mean, I guess it could potentially still reverse. We're still in the macro, and we do have a breaker much higher. And we have taken that 4-hour high. I just don't know how well it respects it in Asia. I don't know that I'd be confident in taking it, but we'll give it a try if it does validate. It's got very, very little bit of time left to do it. My eyelids are going to slam shut here pretty quick. So I guess this would be a great time to mark out the Asia range, because Asia does typically range. It's not very common that it just goes straight up all night. It does occasionally. So there's the pre-market low. It got taken. Opening range would be the first 30 minutes after 7. So that's actually the opening range. We blew through the opening range with a fair value gap, and we've continued up. The opening range is all the freaking way down here at 538. I mean 338. Opening range low, middle of the end log. This wick is of interest to me. I want to see candles bodies stay below the halfway point of it. This one, lower high, lower high, lower high. There's potential. It could reverse here. To get back to the opening range, we got all the way down to this fair value gap that started that run up. This one is not even in play anymore. So we took that. This is the breaker. That's the first fair value gap above the breaker, I think, unless this one is. I think that is actually one. Yeah, it is. It's very small, but it was respected and would have gotten us a fill. But it was also in a big pile of trash. This being the trash. But it was respected, and away we went. So a pullback to that guy for more upside is potential. We're back to 50. Lower, 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 lower with a volume imbalance. Maybe guys, we'll finally get in on a trade. Another volume imbalance forming, possibly. $15-minute chart. 6 minutes left on that candle. If we view that as a bearish order block, that is a fair value gap beneath that bearish order block. Let's see how it responds to it. I've taken trades off of these before, and that would have filled us. Let's let this candle finish and see what it looks like. It may make a new high like all the others have. Two seconds. Filled it in. So we can't really work off of that one. We would need this one to validate. Possibly even invert this guy. 911. We didn't push any higher. You could take a trade here without validation. And just say, well, it's cheap. Put your stop above. But I think you probably get stopped out. I'm going to wait for validation. I'm probably just going to say, you know, this is going to continue higher for the foreseeable future, and I'm not going to trade it anymore tonight. If we do continue to push higher, this is our most likely our next aiming point, all the way up here, which is 250 points away. We do the entire order block instead of just the wick. That's what we're looking at. We didn't push through it, and that was a hard push. So there is potential here. There it goes. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm not going to trade any more Asia session. We've eclipsed that order block. That was my only potential reversal spot. If you're long-minded, I'd say get after it. I'm waiting for a short. I'm not going to take a long right now because of we're way too high. If I had the idea of taking a long, I would have done it here. And that actually isn't a terrible signal to go long. I was just, my hypo as we trade down, so I thought any of this push up would have been short-lived, but it just wasn't. And that's okay. You're not going to get it. You're not going to catch every trade. It's just the way it goes out west. I wish I would have stayed in that one. I was actually in one here, but I took it off when it hit that level. So I did get in one somewhere around here. Just got $40 or something. And had I held it to pre-market high or even this, I mean, that would have been a really nice trade. And it continuing to climb. So I don't know if I would have held it all the way up there, but I would have definitely held it to here or there. But, you know, I killed it. So no sense crying over spilt milk. This is setting up for tomorrow. Think about New York session. We're going to open with it, possibly open with a very nice gap up with an area down below that New York session has not traded in, and settlement below that. In a bearish pattern right now. If we look at our weekly, a lot of times you can put I got so many things marked out here. You can put a fib tool on this weekly and go to the 50% mark, and it oftentimes, if we're going to remain bearish, it will reject at that 50% mark, which is right about where we are, right there. I'm going to put a line on it, and I'm going to zoom in on it, make sure I get it exactly right. So that would be a 50% pullback of last week right here. And if this is going to remain bearish, it will reject near this line. Maybe it may go all the way to the 500 level, but it won't go much past that. Because if you're a billionaire and you're in the mind of selling short, you're not going to sell short in the lower half of the weekly range. You're going to sell short in the upper half. And so how does that correspond with our regular trading hour gaps? We just have the one there and we have the one up here. This would be a 75% retrace, in which case we were always planning on going up, and this was where we would be buying for that move up. But if we're going to continue bearish, we should reject somewhere around this point, around the 25.5. So just keep that in mind as we go into tomorrow. 50% retrace of last week. That's quite a move up. Of course, we took half of it Friday. Okay, so now I get rid of this fib, delete, and we go back to the smaller time frame. Look how close we are to it, and how the momentum is kind of slowing down as we get to it. I think that could be a potential reversal spot right there. All right, guys, that's it. I'm ending the stream. If you wanted to put a static short somewhere around there, I mean, you might get smoked, but if you didn't, it would be worth a big pile of money. I might do that just to gamble. Like put in a limit order short right around 25.5, one micro with $2,000 take. I don't know how much it would be. Down to settlement would be 201. That's 300 points. So that would be $600 on one micro, risking $50. That might be worth it. I would rather see it reverse there than just speculate it. But Still, if it for a pajama trade, might be worth it. All right, guys, I'm ending it. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll see y'all in the morning.